Hello and good morning. Well, today I thought I'd do something slightly different in so much as over the past couple of months, I guess now, all I've done is like travel videos and everything else, and made it more about the journey, both personal and geographical, and the van life and what all that sort of means to me. So today I thought I'd bring it back to the van and be more specific about what I've been using and what I would consider, at least for myself, I know it's all subjective, what I would consider as absolute essentials, that no matter what the van, in my circumstance, I would always have these items with me. I've used every single one of them, some more than others, and I'll go into those specifically when I'm talking about them. But yeah, I just thought I'd bring it back for those that are here and joined purely for the van and what the van can do. I thought I'd just bring it back this week and make it a bit more specific about that. Now, I'll talk about the items. I'm not going to go into specifics and what their stats are, their costs or anything like that. There are videos on certain aspects of this anyway, and all throughout all my previous back catalogue of videos, I talk about the items as I'm using them. I thought I'd just round it up into one sort of solid video today. So I'm not going to talk about specifics, or the specifications rather, of each individual item. I'm not someone that is brand loyal, so I'm not going to talk about brands. I'm not here to influence you to run out and go and buy your own. You do what you do best and use the kit that serves your purpose and your budget. Yeah, and we'll just talk through them as the video goes on, and yeah, let's get into it. Right, so the first one I'll talk about is, I am going to mention a name because I only know it as that, but it's the Kärcher sort of window squeegee, sucker-upper, hoovery type thing. This was gifted to me probably, 6 years ago when I first moved on to a narrowboat. So my friend in Spain, Kath, very kindly bought me this for the narrowboat. Which just goes to show its versatility. It's not just vans, and I dare say in a house or a shower room or something like that, you could use it if you really wanted to. Amazing bit of kit. It is only seasonal, so pretty much your late autumn into early spring. That period there is when this comes into its own. But it's been an absolute godsend. Is it essential? No, not really. You can rub your windows down with a rag and all the rest of it, but it does make life so much easier in so much that all the water is there contained in this canister, and then you just pour it away. My only reservation about this is to charge this one specifically, you need 240 volts. A version like this, I don't know whether it exists or not, but if it was chargeable or rechargeable via USB, that would make life so much easier. But I don't know. This is the one I've got, and I've got 240 in the van now, which I'll talk about a little bit later anyway. Yeah, and it served me really, really well. Okay, so the second thing on the list, or should I say the second things on the list, I've been a little bit creative here. So it's one thing in that it's my recovery package, but I guess, yes, there are 3 items. I'll talk about them all quickly, and then I'll tell you which one I'd keep out of all of them. So first of all, we've got an 8-ton, 5-meter tow strop. I've used this once in Scotland. Wasn't for my recovery, it was for a local Scottish lad that whose car wouldn't start. It needed a bump start in Helmsdale, actually, and so that's the only time it's been used. But yeah, good job we had it. However, what I would say, this for self-recovery, if you're out in the Ulu on your own, absolutely about as much use as tits on a fish. Not going to help you one iota. The second one, again, I've used this many, many times, actually just night before last with Vicky's van. This is a air compressor, so for blowing up the tyres. Again, it's come in handy so many times on tyres that have deflated over time or lost a little bit of their air pressure. If you've got a puncture, again, just like the strop, not much use at all. You're going to need to change the wheel. And also, if you are losing air pressure and it is quite slow and gradual, then you can always get yourself to a garage along the way, and so you wouldn't really need that. I had it way before the van, so I've kept it. That one actually I did buy specifically for the van. And then thirdly, and this is one I would keep out of all three items, this is the one I would choose to take if I could only take one. And that's the Jump Start Pack. Again, it's nothing special. There's no special branding, no special make. I think I bought it off Amazon for God knows what the price was. I don't think it was exceptionally expensive, but I'll go back actually and I'll put it on the screen. But this, again, on my own van, I've never used, but at least on half a dozen occasions, yeah, at least, probably more than that actually, I have jump started other vehicles. Other vans that I've been in the same park up as, cars in a shopping mall. So yeah, it's come in very, very handy. But the one thing, this, unlike those two, if you are stuck somewhere with a flat battery, can't start your vehicle, it is something that you can use to self-recover. And that's why out of the three items here, I would always take this one and could forego those two if I really had to or needed to. Yeah, good bit of kit, and it's got a torch and it can be a power bank as well if you need to charge anything from it. So that's it. Right, and on to number 3. Again, there's no specific order to these. They're just as I pull them out the van. Now this is the second iteration of one of these things, and that's a camp shower. Now, the original one I had, I left with my daughter in France after her boiler packed up. And rather than, I think they were like boiling big pans of water and putting it into the bath and all the rest of it, and then bathing the kids. And so basically I left them my last camp shower so they could just plop it straight into a thing of warm water, like a big casserole or saucepan of warm water. And then they could shower the kids rather than having to bath every single time. This one is slightly different. Again, no particular make or anything, but what this does have that the other one didn't have is, first of all, that, which is a stop the water type thing. So it's a little bit more efficient with water usage. It doesn't cut the motor, it just stops the water flow. So this will still keep turning, although I'll go on to the battery life in a minute. And the other thing this one has is the head itself has 3 different water jet settings. Bit fancy, you don't really need all that, to be honest. You just want water to come out so you can wash yourself. But it's got it, and again, this wasn't overly expensive. Now, this one in particular here, I have used a couple of times already, especially when we've got a full campsite. And I can't be bothered to try and get into the showers down the bottom, especially if it's a hen do and they're using both the male and female toilets. I'll just squirrel myself away up here and have a shower up here. Battery life so far, I've used this quite a few times without charging it, and I'm still high up in the 90%. Now, I don't stay in the shower all day, obviously. They are quite quick, but yeah, so far so good. The battery life on this has been fantastic, and the one setting on there where you've got the central spray and the overall spray all coming out at once, which is like the most water it'll throw out in any one go. Yeah, it seems to be the setting I leave it on now. So that's that. And then for the attachment, quite simply, you've got this here. So that's what the shower head sits in, basically, like that. And then with the 3 suckers on the back, I just stick that to the side window of the van and just shower against the side of the van, and it works a treat. If you pull these out, which you can do there, very simply, You then have 2 hooks which go in the top, like that, and then the other one is there. Oh, bag's gone, it doesn't matter. And then that, you can quite literally just hang over a door and it does exactly the same thing. If you don't have a window or surface that you can stick the suckers to. So very good, very versatile, and definitely get you out of a tight spot. So that's that one covered. Okay, so number 4 on the list. And I have actually covered this in its own specific short episode, which was, I believe, episode 10. And that is my travel toilet. Again, I won't go into specifics, I've already covered it in a video. But basically, that's it. So what I like about it is it's compact and I'm not carrying chemicals or shit if I'm in there for any extended period, as you would do in a chemical toilet or a composting loo and all that sort of stuff. Each to their own, don't get me wrong. Every single system has its own pros and cons. For me and the way I like to live, I found this was the best solution for my own circumstances. So quite simply, that's all it is that. Here you go, line it with a bag, put the seat down, and hey presto, you've got a sturdy toilet solution. Now, personally, if I'm anywhere at all near civilization, I'll always go to a cafe, a shopping centre, a supermarket, public toilets, whatever, and excuse me, and do it a little bit more comfortably. As I say, this has been an absolute, I won't go so far as to say a lifesaver, but it's been a boxer short saver on many an occasion. And yeah, and I wouldn't travel without it, to be honest, and neither would I go to any other system from where I am in today's sort of thinking. But yeah, it works for me. And how much more can I talk about a shitter? Well, judging by this, quite a lot actually. So there you go, that's number 4 on the list. Okay, and finally, number 5 on the list. The absolute bedrock of these travels so far. This is the EcoFlow Delta 2. And it's just been a godsend, to be honest. So it was for a long time the only thing that gave me 240 volts. So for my coffee machine, beard trimmer, the Kärcher that we saw earlier, this was the only thing I had that could charge them. And it did a grand job. Normally I pair this with a Vitomun 220 watt solar panel. I don't have the solar panel with me just because it is quite a size, thin but quite bulky in length and breadth, and so I've left that at my stepmom's. But there's a whole episode on all of that, this and that solar panel, and that's in episode 5, I think. So yeah, it's got me out of a pickle. Well, not out of a pickle, that's the wrong way to put it. It's just enabled me to do things I otherwise wouldn't have been able to do without it. And it was a quick and easy, simple solution. Throw this in the van, it works. No running wires, no running fuses, no separate blocks of this, that and the other to make sure the whole system worked as a whole. This is just buy it and use it. Even though I've got the EcoFlow, there are other ones out there. I think All Powers, Jackery, Bluetti, they all do a very similar job. I got this one because it was on offer and it was sort of like the best and biggest value for money asset I could get at the time with the funds I had. So I went with this one. If you're using these, go with what you've got. If you're looking to purchase one, again, do your research and find out what you need for your own usage. it's been a brilliant bit of kit. And now I've had a recent upgrade, and so I've got a 3000 watt inverter. I've got a new huge lithium battery. I've got everything in there now, electronically speaking, is about as good as I'm gonna get for my money. It's all relatively brand new now. So the question is, do I really need this? And I guess on a day-to-day basis, the answer is simply no, I don't. Would I travel without it? No, I wouldn't. I guess coming from a military background, I'm all about belt and braces, and as soon as I own it and it only takes up this much space, why wouldn't I carry it? Yeah, it'll stay with me no matter what. And actually here the other day, you'll see it in the next video coming up. I took this up into the safari tent. I stayed a night in a safari tent here just to see what it was like getting back into that sort of space and that environment. And this worked a treat just for my morning coffees. So just in that respect alone, I'm glad I had it with me. And actually a month prior to that, I had friends down from Scotland who also had a safari tent, and I loaned this to them for the week. And albeit all they were doing were charging like camp lights and mobile phones, they had this for the week and it had only used 50%. So again, it came into its own, and I've actually loaned it to a guest that came in down in Hawthorne. So it's been an incredible bit of equipment, and absolutely makes the top 5 list. I would arguably say, though there was no order to this, out of the 5 things I've got, this is the one I would still take everywhere. If I could only choose one bit of kit, it would be this. And that's just because it allows me to do a lot of things, charging batteries, charging phones. It gives me peace of mind that I've got a backup solution should the van fail, which if you wanted to venture back into my back catalogue, I think on Orkney, I forget what their numbered are, but on the Orkney series, I lost all power in the van. Higher latitudes, it was coming to late autumn, so a lower sun on the horizon. Rainy, grey days, quite the norm for Orkney, I'm led to believe. And so the solar just wasn't getting enough to charge the batteries, and they died a death. And neither did I have a DC to DC charger, which I now have, so I couldn't even drive around and recharge them. And so this then became the only electrical power I had for the most part, and it did an incredible job. You know, I would charge with the solar panel whenever I could, and it was enough just to keep it going until I could get a little bit further south, and then I went straight to Coalition Vans in Sheffield and had all the work done on my van. Yeah, so that's the EcoFlow, or portable power bank, if we're not going to brand things. None of these, and just to be very clear, none of these were ever given to me or whatever. I bought everything for my own use long before the sort of whole YouTube malarkey took off. So there we go, that's my top 5 essentials. Right, so that pretty much sums up the 5 essentials for my style of van life. Again, as I said at the start, all these things really are pretty subjective. You know, you may have your own different systems and all the rest of it. I'm just sort of giving some sort of insight as into what I use and how helpful they've been over this past, or is it now almost coming up 18 months. So hopefully there's some useful sort of information in there, and something to take away from this. And next week we'll be back to the normal sort of what I'm still doing here at the glamp site and everything else. I've still got another about 6 weeks left here, and that time really has gone quickly. But all that will come up in next week's episode. So yeah, thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch, if you have watched and got to the end. Not that I really ever ask for this, but if you have enjoyed what you've seen and you'd like to see more, then by all means do drop messages in the comment section. I do answer every single comment. But feel free to like or dislike, whichever one takes your fancy, and subscribe, as that goes some way to helping this channel grow. And on that note, I shall see you again next week. But until then, Take care. Bye-bye.